Welcome back. The first ever India CARICOM summit was held on Wednesday, the 25th of September in New York. The primary focus of the meeting was climate change, the blue economy, and how India can help partner with CARICOM's small island developing states in achieving development goals. CARICOM leaders noted their gratefulness to the government and people of India for their continued partnership and dialogue over the years. CARICOM Chairman Alan Chasney noted that the two allies have enjoyed diplomatic and technical cooperation in a wide diversity of areas which have brought direct benefit to people in the areas of agriculture, health, disaster management, ICT, education, and training. In many ways, he says this has been a shining example of South-South cooperation. CARICOM leaders say they look forward to continuing the engagement and technical cooperation with India. Honoring key players who have contributed to the development of arts and culture on island is the main focus of the ICON series facilitated by the Cultural Development Foundation. 2019's ICON has been named as Vincent Joseph Udovic, a prominent sculptor on island. The Cultural Development Foundation highlights other initiatives geared toward education through entertainment, which will also form part of the ICON series.
The Cultural ICON series is an effort of CDF to unite St. Lucians through cultural and creative empowerment. In the 5th year of the series, leading local sculptor Vincent Udovic of Udovic Art Gallery in Goodlands will be honored for his contributions to the growth of the arts industry in St. Lucia. Udovic began sculpting at a very young age, competing in his first exhibition at age 12. In 2019, after over 40 years of service to the arts, Udovic's work will be highlighted throughout Creole Heritage Month. Director of Events, Arts and Production at CDF, Joanna Frederick, says the goal is to raise public awareness about the work of the ICON, and this will be achieved through an art exhibition and a school edutainment tour.
Two activities, mainly an art exhibition and our general edutainment component of going around to 12 schools around St. Lucia to educate persons, students about the ICON. And the 12 schools that we have selected, and I'm telling you so that at least maybe one day you could take a drive. Entrepot Secondary, St. Joseph's Convent, Coram Secondary, Schwozel Secondary, PI Secondary, Forester Methodist Combined, Bexop Primary, Otsa Primary Combined, Dame Paulette Louisy, Bourgis Combined, and Debarra Combined. There's a group of young persons who have come out of CDS training programs. You know of our Arts Fusion summer program. One of the students from that, she forms part of the groups of persons who have come out of the CARIFESTA production, and some of those young persons are unemployed, and this is a means of showing them how their arts can give you a livelihood. So in that sense, CDF is achieving its mandate and again pushing the agenda of understanding who our icons is, where we have gone and where we're going.
Frederick says in keeping with the push to decentralize cultural activities in St. Lucia, schools from around the island were selected. The youth will be heavily involved in the ICON series activities as tour facilitators and mainly young unemployed individuals who have been trained by CDF.
We want to spread the message, and each year we go to schools where people consider it's remote, and of course keeping with the general idea of decentralizing everything that happens in St. Lucia. So this year, and as we speak, the component has started today. So they're in Forester, they're in Bexor, and they're in Otsa.
The exhibition component will be held at the Baywalk Mall from the 8th to the 12th of October 2019 and will feature 13 of Udovic's pieces, providing a visually interactive opportunity for the public to appreciate and purchase art. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
As the local education system continues to advance, a new milestone has been met in the Ministry of Education's School Safety Program. Students of the Gordon and Walcott Memorial Methodist Primary School are amongst the first group of school safety officers on island. The now grade 6 students were part of a 2-year training program in basic safety as part of the Model Safe Schools program. an initiative designed to incorporate comprehensive disaster risk management considerations into education sector policies. Safety Coordinator Princess Kodra says the students' work will set them as trailblazers for school safety in St. Lucia.
The children have shown a keen interest where school safety is concerned, and a group of them continued with their training, and these students, who are now our school safety officers, who you'll meet in a few minutes, are now in grade 6. They completed a very intense summer camp with Miss Ariste and her team in completing and concreting all of the training that they had done over the last 2 years. We thought it's such a keen initiative to start this group here at our school and be the trailblazers and the trendsetters for what school safety should become, that we are empowering our students, that they can become the agents of safety and the agents of change in our schools.
Kodra says currently the biggest concern is that of succession. This will be minimized by appointing grade 5 students deputy safety officers in the 3rd term.
But for us, succession was important. Our officers are in grade 6. That means they will be leaving our school soon. So what the teachers have done is identified a group of students from grade 5 who we are going to install today as school safety trainee officers. And they will be trained throughout the course of this school year to take over from our patrol officers in the 3rd term, so that our patrol officers now can focus completely on their schoolwork and getting ready for their exams. And then our grade 5s will take over, and we are going to continue the cycle so that it is a staple here at this school.
The program is being funded by the Caribbean Development Bank and implemented by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA. Agro processing remains a top priority area for development within the local agriculture economy as agriculture leaders pave the way forward for increased productivity within the sector. Amanda Faye Clark tells us more in this report.
As Phase 2 of the construction of the National Diagnostic Facility gets underway, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Barrymore Felicia, says, with the commissioning of this facility, agri-food constituents, which include agro-processors, will have access to technology and expertise needed to grow and sustain their agribusinesses.
What we want to achieve as well as the Department of Agriculture is to ensure that agro-processing, we have placed a lot of emphasis and a lot of effort into what agro-processors, training, building capacity, providing them with the infrastructure to produce. But we also need to help them in other areas, such as testing of the product, the shelf life, preservation techniques. We have done a little work in that area, especially with cassava. So we have done some work where we increase the shelf life of cassava from 3 to about 12 days, which is about 3 times the shelf life. So that gives the supermarket some confidence in what we do.
According to Mr. Felicia, the agro-processing subsector constitutes an important thrust in agriculture development, which can bring about increased GDP through the provision of additional goods and new processed products on the market, generating income and employment in rural areas because of its close linkage to primary agriculture, and stimulating agricultural production by creating new, stable, immediate markets for raw agricultural products, among others. Part of the overall action plan for the sector, he explains, is creating sources of exports and addressing uneven income distribution and employment problems, thus providing options and a level platform for anyone to be gainfully involved in this development curve in St. Lucia's agriculture economy.
To engage agro-processors, to help improve the product, to help them get certification to export, to earn sustainable livelihoods. So for us at the Department of Agriculture, we have great expectations for this facility, and we are committed to ensuring that this facility is completed and is completed within the shortest period of time.
A very important characteristic of processing industries is its strong relationship with other important sectors of the economy, such as the grocery and wholesale sectors that create thousands of jobs, as well as the service sector and the growing tourism industry that bring about a vigorous expanding demand for processed food products and a unique agro-tourism identity. From the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Amanda Faye Clark reporting.
Technical and vocational education and training is essential to boosting diversity in educational pathways. In collaboration with the UNESCO Cluster Office for the Caribbean and the National Commission for UNESCO, the Ministry of Education is hosting a leadership program for TVET professionals to help build capacity.
The Technical and Vocational Education and Training Unit, TVET, was established in 2000 with the Ministry of Education. At the time, the unit consisted of an education officer and a clerk typist. This small unit undertook the task of supervising technical and vocational education and training in schools. The unit hopes to ensure the emergence of a modern and relevant national TVET system. On Monday, September 23, 2019, as part of capacity-building efforts, the unit, along with the Ministry of Education, began hosting UNESCO's International Center for TVET Leadership Development Program. Head of the St. Lucian TVET program, Colvis Samuels, says initiatives like these are timely.
Here in St. Lucia with us, this is the first Caribbean, or the first program that's been held in the Caribbean, and St. Lucia is extremely happy to be hosting. We know that the empty chairs do not indicate that there's not support for TVET. We know that because of what has been happening around the world, if we don't move TVET forward now, may never ever get a chance to do so. They talk about skills development is on the tongues of almost everybody, and the international agencies are certainly putting their money where the mouth is in terms of taking the necessary steps to put whatever needs to be put in place to ensure that we develop the capacity of our people.
The 5-day program is primarily focused on enhancing the capacity of mid to senior level TVET professionals as TVET leaders and change agents with a strong focus on regional context.
They talk about skills development is on the tongues of almost everybody, and the international agencies are certainly putting their money where the mouth is in terms of taking the necessary steps to put whatever needs to be put in place to ensure that we develop the capacity of our people. UNESCO realized that one of the deficiencies we have is that of our leaders. Our leaders having come through some skill or been trained in some skill area, but not necessarily in TVET itself, and certainly not in the development, the management, and certainly the leadership of TVET. We note that transformational leadership is one of the terms in the theme, and that is suggesting that we have to be not just normal change agents, but we have to do this change in a major way.
The UNESCO UNIVOC International Center for Technical and Vocational Education and Training is one of 7 UNESCO institutes and centers working in the field of education. The activity will conclude on Friday, September 27, 2019. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Thank you, Jacques. Tennis in Glasgow is up next with all the sporting action.